Hi Coco, I am a guy who's in a similar position as you mentioned in your previous video, never dated and hope to find someone one day. However, I also do feel like my insecurity and lack of confidence are my issues when talking to someone new. How do I, or how have you improved your confidence? As I mentioned in my previous video, I added an anonymous link for people to ask questions. So in today's video, we are going to talk about how to become more confident and more specifically, my tips and tricks. So as somebody who records themselves and posts them on the internet for millions and thousands of people to watch, people assume that confidence comes very naturally to me ever since I was young. And that is far, far, far from the truth. So let me just explain quickly my journey with confidence. The idea of being humble and modesty is very heavily emphasized in an Asian traditional household, so that's the way that I was raised. I feel like I can't take credit for my accomplishments and I should always humble myself. And a lot of Asian parenting style, there is a lack of words of affirmation to give you that sense of security. Every single time I do something right, even though they are proud, they will never tell me that they are proud. So I feel like I have to constantly prove myself, and even if I accomplish something, there's someone else out there who accomplishes things that are greater. Like honestly, if you go to my high school and survey like 50 people, first of all, I doubt that like 30% will even know who I am because I wasn't active in school. But the ones who knew who I was, I can guarantee you everyone will describe me as the shy little girl who doesn't really speak and lacks a little bit of confidence, because that was me. And when I first entered college at NYU, I still felt like that little girl that's always like the side character. And even back then when I made YouTube videos, I would be like, no, don't tell anybody, and I wouldn't be able to sit in front of a camera and talk for like hours. But now I have evolved, so I'm at a really good place right now and I can confidently say that I am confident. So okay, without further ado, let me jump into some actionable tips for you guys to improve your self-confidence and things that helped me a lot. The first thing is to stop intuitively blaming yourself for everything. See, if you look into a dirty mirror, you wouldn't be like, oh, why is my face dirty? You would look at the mirror and be like, damn, the mirror is dirty. But under a lot of social situations, especially when I was younger, I always point the arrow at myself because I'm used to doing that. I'll give you a personal anecdote. There's one time after class, I overheard these two boys talking about me. They were just like, oh, like, which girl do you think is cute in our class? And one guy's like, oh, I think Coco's not bad. And then one guy's like, oh, I think she's a little bit chubby. Like, she has such a chubby face too. And I was just standing there devastated. So that just became my insecurity for like years and years, because I'm like, damn, I'm chubby. Damn, I have a round face. Like, I couldn't get over it. A confident person would be like, what the hell? These people have no manners. Like, why would they be talking about someone behind their back? And that person is me, and I look great. And that is exactly how I would react today. I mean, obviously going up to someone and be like, why would you say that? You have problems. That's a lot. But changing the way that you digest certain things mentally is something that you can do from now on. And then the second tip is to understand that you are never underqualified for something. This is another thing that's been dragging my self-confidence for so long. The difference between a confident person and someone that lacks it is that the confident person have no trouble taking up a task or doing something or taking ownership of something when they feel like they're not at full capacity of doing something. It sounds kind of bad on paper, but that is exactly how this world functions. I learned this lesson from my older sister, who is now a full-time illustrator. I remember when I was really little, she was in high school and she loved drawing, so she would draw everything and post it on Chinese social media, and she would try to like reach out to brands and work with them and do illustrations for like corporate stuff. And I was like, how do you do that? If I was a high school student and I've never gone through professional art training, I wouldn't have the guts to be like, oh yeah, like here's my work. What she said is that you have to believe that you're a professional before you actually become a professional. Because my mentality growing up is that if a certain task requires this much skill to complete, I would have to refine my skills to this much so I can confidently take up the task. I think it's the same thing with YouTube. You guys have no idea how long I've been wanting to make these like self-help videos, because these are the videos that I consume the most on the internet, and I just love listening to other people talk about their lives and learning from their lessons. But I feel like who am I to be here to tell you? Like, I'm a 22-year-old girl, never really been in a proper relationship, never really had a full-time job. I felt so underqualified to do that, and who knows, like maybe by the end of this journey of me trying to make these videos, I become qualified. So there's definitely a fine line between being confident and being cocky, but I am really confident that if you clicked into this video, you're far away from being cocky. So let's move on. Now, tip number 3 is something that you can actually work on, and that is to do one thing right. Obviously, right, it's not like binary what's right or wrong, but to put all your effort into doing a singular thing and complete it. This doesn't have to be something crazy like, oh, do a startup, oh, let me master guitar. It can be as simple as like, let me lose 5 pounds. Let me wake up at 8 a.m. every single morning for a month. Who knows, but it's just small, tiny tasks that you can track and you can keep yourself accountable. And by the end of it, trust me, you're gonna get a huge adrenaline boost and confidence boost. Because what I've learned over the years, achievement is not what gives you confidence. Action is what brings you confidence. Trust me, action changes everything. Losing weight doesn't just make you more confident because you're in better shape, you look better. Yeah, obviously, yes, a lot of the validation might come from that. But what I'm saying is that if you can discipline yourself and put all your mind into trying to plan out your diet, your fitness, and to lose those 5 pounds, you do feel like you're a little bit on top of the world because you can actually make things happen. And the reason why I use weight loss as an example is because a lot of the times weight loss is something that trains you both in terms of your like activity, your mind, your diet, and it changes your life in multiple dimensions. And it's also something that you can pretty much do immediately. You always let yourself down because you don't think you're the type of person who can do that. But the moment that you do, you realize maybe I can be a badass, productive, disciplined person, and that brings you a ton of self-confidence. So the last little tip that I have for everybody is to compliment yourself. If there's nobody out there to compliment you, then just compliment yourself. Because a lot of the times you're doing a lot of things that deserves praise. Even just waking up in the morning, making your bed. These days I do this a lot. These days after I say something, I'm like, wow, Coco, great job. I guess for like the past 18 years of my life, I've always been waiting for the validation to come from an external force. Like if my parents didn't give me this kind of words of affirmation, I will work extra hard at school so my teacher can be like, oh, Coco's a smart cookie. But as a 22-year-old, I learned that you are the only person that you're gonna live with forever. You're the only person that's gonna be with you for the rest of your life. So you should be your biggest cheerleader, and you should be the person who's like, wow, Coco, good job. Like this morning, I was feeling really tired, but I really wanted to make this video. So I put on my makeup. And when I was putting on my makeup, I was like, you're so hardworking, Coco. You literally just uploaded a video yesterday and now you're making a new one. You just gotta tell yourself that. Even when you're cooking something, you know, if it's not super tasty, you can still be like, wow, I can feed myself. Good job. So this brings us to the end of the video. There's so much that I can go into in terms of confidence, maybe body language, and other things that can appear to be more confident under social setting. I'm also thinking about making a video about overcoming my social anxiety, but this is the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am so happy that I can finally make these kind of videos and share my thoughts. But yeah, just to close up, being confident is not as scary as it seems. And trust me, the moment that you start practicing self-confidence and you feel like you're improving day by day, magical things will happen to you. So the moment that you really feel like you love the person that you are, a lot of things just solves itself. And honestly, life is worth living. You don't have to be the smartest, the hottest, the coolest, the most outgoing person to be likable and to be loved. You should love yourself either way. And as cheesy as it sounds, I'm so happy that you found this video. Hopefully you found it helpful and enjoy the rest of your day. And compliment yourself after watching this video. Bye.